Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Student Zone session here at Microsoft Build. We're really excited to have you, especially during this session. As a reminder, before we get started, this is our Microsoft Code of Conduct for all of our digital events, specifically for Build 2020 this year. Basically, we just want to be friendly to each other, so let's do that. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce InstaFluff. InstaFluff will be guiding us through creating a social Shareboard today. And if you don't know InstaFluff, he is the comfiest live coder and mug chef on Twitter. And we're really excited to have him. So InstaFluff, I'll let you take it away.
Cool. Hello, hello. Welcome in and welcome to Microsoft Build, the Student Zone. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys have been watching some of the Student Zone sessions because they've been really good. Like I watched one on Minecraft. I watched, oh man, there was like a wall of lava and everything. That was interesting. First they like planted flowers and then now there's just like lava everywhere. There's like GitHub stuff. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is we're going to create a social Shareboard, which basically is like, we wanted to come up with a fun name for something where you can write digitally and say, hey, look, like I was part of MS Build Student Zone 2020. And I thought that would be really cool because then we can be a part of the digital history, which is also going to be another session later today. And so, by the way, thank you again so much, Sarah. But my name is InstaFluff. I'm a live coder on Twitch. If you guys don't know what Twitch is, it's kind of like YouTube, but live, and I can interact with chat. It's kind of like this, but fairly regular all the time. And we build stuff like AI bots to play a game called Flippy Fish. That's like an arcade game, all sorts. And so that's what I do. And there's a whole bunch of other things that I've done on like YouTube. There's an Azure Developer Series, and we're also going to do a bunch of Q&A afterwards. And so if you guys have any questions about what I'm doing, then feel free to ask in chat. And so I hope you guys are excited. We're going to get started. Here we go. Here we go. Let me go to here. All right. So let me bring up the project. So what you can see here is we have a GitHub repository. I think if you guys have joined in a couple of the other sessions, you'll know or have heard about this repository. It's basically github.com/Microsoft/students@build. And what we've created in here is a folder called Social 2020. And so what you'll want to do is at the end, if you want to check out the same kind of code that we're building today, then you can go to here and then you can check out and even just like clone the repository and check it out and try it yourself. And so we're going to be using JavaScript and I need a command prompt window. Here we go. So let me show you how easy it is to create a web server project. Basically, all we gotta do is go to a folder and let's see, what should we call this? I'll call this Maker Social Share for 2020. And then I'll go in here. And now we just have a folder. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about here, it's basically the exact same thing as the window here. It's like if you go into Explorer, then I went into the D drive and then GitHub and Social Shareboard. And so in here.
Can you zoom in your terminal a tiny bit?
Oh, geez. I'm so sorry.
No worries. My glasses aren't good enough, I think.
I think
you can just Control+, maybe.
Can I?
Maybe not.
Plus. Wait, I can zoom it like this.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
That'll be much easier. All right. So what I can do is I can npm init, and npm is a node package module, manager. And so I'll call it Social Shareboard 2020. None of this really matters because we've already kind of like have the actual project in the repository. But in here, I want to show you what it is to make this. So now that what we did was we set up the actual project, we initialized it with node package manager, which means that it created a couple different things in here called package.json. And so let me open it. We're going to open it in a code editor called Atom. And if I type in Atom. Here we go. It should have opened it. Let me try this again. Oh, there it goes. right. Here we go. So this is what the package.json file looks like. I think some of you guys might already be familiar with JavaScript packages, but if you do a project like this, then it sets it up with npm init, and that's all you have to do. That's all you really need to worry about. So now we're going to create our JavaScript file, and here what we're going to want to do is install a couple different modules first. So I have a module called web, and we can install it using npm install. And so npm is kind of like the package manager. It lets you install all sorts of different open source packages that other people have created. I created one called web, which is kind of like the easiest way for you to create a web server. And I'm going to show you how easy it really is. So essentially what I can do is in this JavaScript file, I can say const web equals require. I'm going to include the web file, the web module, and then I can run it on a port like port 8000, and then we'll call it index.js, and we're going to run it. So I'll do like nodemon to run it, and then let me show you what it looks like. Check this out. Now with 2 lines of code, you actually have a web server. So you don't see anything here yet, and it's an error because there's no actual web page, but I can create a web page really quick because we can do this. It's like HTML body, hi, MS build student zone. And we'll close out the HTML file here, and then we'll name this index.html. And then if I refresh, check it out. Oh, here, I'm going to zoom in so you can actually see it. Hello, Microsoft Build Student Zone. I hope you guys are really excited for this because look at this. Like you just learned how to create a web server in 2 lines of code. This is literally all you have to do. And so we're going to create a social Shareboard version of this, which means we're going to be using a Markdown file and let everybody create a little note. So let me show you an example of what the note might look like. So we could have something kind of like this, where this is the rendered version. So we might have something like a title. A Markdown is a type of format. So like if you put a £sign or a hashtag, or I'm not sure what the best term for it now is. Is it a number sign? Is it like C#? Is it like sharp? Hashtag? I'm not sure.
I think I still say pound.
Pound? Yeah. So pound space, and then you can put your name. You can be like InstaBluff was at MS Build 2020. Or if you want to put it in quotes, you use a greater than sign and then put the text after. And you can even write code inside in here. And then what's cool about Markdown is you can use this like simple text format that's still readable in that text format, and then have it look and formatted like this, where it's like a giant title and then a quote and code. And so we're going to make a Shareboard where everybody creates a Markdown file like this. So mine is instafluff.md, and in the later session later tonight, which I hope you guys won't be able to make it to, then I'll show you guys how you can create a pull request. We have a bunch lined up where you can do exactly that, and we'll put them all together and compile them into a social Shareboard where everyone can be like, hey, look, I was at student zone. And so to do that, we're going to install one more module, and this module is called Markdown it, because the format's called Markdown. And then I can run it again. And nodemon is really cool because it basically monitors your folder for any code changes and then just refreshes the code automatically for you. So in here, now that we have the server, we need to be able to read those Markdown files, which means we need to include the Markdown module. Let's say markdown.it-it. And I guess we'll probably want to read the file, so we'll need const file service. FS is like file service. I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. And then path is for being able to work with file paths really easily. And I think that should be it. All right. And then let's see. The Markdown files that we want to place, we can probably place it in a folder called notes. That's what I did for the example. And so we'll create a folder called notes. And then inside notes, here we go. I'm going to create a Markdown file. I'll say, hello, everyone. and I'll put a quote. Does anyone here like Animal Crossing? Does anyone here actually like Animal Crossing? I love Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing has been my favorite game for so long. And I'll just call it Animal Crossing.md. And I don't know if you guys know all the characters in Animal Crossing, but if you know Filbert is basically me in the game. It's like he's a blue little squirrel, and he's super lazy and loves food, and he loves lasagna, and he says the most random things. All right, so let's see. We need to go through the folder and then check for any of the Markdown files. So let's, how about we enumerate it? Here we go. We'll do let files or files equal file, and then read dir sync. This is read the directory right away, and we'll say path adjoin, and then we'll take the actual directory name. If a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. Don't worry, because the thing that we really care about is the Markdown stuff. And so we're just creating a folder and then reading through all of the Markdown files. And so let's see, we want to read through the notes folder, and then I think that should give us all of the files. Let's see. There it is. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. I will move to the side. All right. Animalcrossing.md. And that's an array. That's pretty easy, right? It's like you can just call this one function, and then you get all the files. And so now what we want to do is we want to, after we get all of the files, see if we can parse it with using the Markdown it component, the module. And so let me see if we can actually read that Markdown file, and then we'll replace it, and we'll say these are all the notes. And so we're going to do map of all of the files. We'll say X, that's the file name. I guess I'll name it a little bit different, file name. And then we will read the actual file itself. So we'll do read file sync, and then we'll pass in the file name. And then I think what we're going to want to do is to convert it to a string. Oh no, actually first, we're going to need to actually edit the path and say join with the notes and then the file name, because it's actually the file name inside the notes folder. So now if we have that, we should have a notes. Oh, files is not defined. Oh, files is not defined because I've renamed it to notes. Hi-ya! All right. And it's a buffer. And so now take this file and we read it, and then I'm going to do it. I need to find the right parentheses. Oh, there we go. To string. Here we go. All right, and then is it to string? No, something's wrong. File name, and then map, and then no, this should be fine.
Joys of live coding.
Yeah, this is why I'm pretty much known for breaking a bunch of code and then fixing it. And I like to remind everyone, it's okay to make mistakes. You don't have to do it all the perfect thing. Like the thing about coding is you write something and then you spend 90% of the time debugging it and getting it to what you want it to do. Sure. And so let's see if I can join all of these. This is what I did before. Let's see. If you do dash dash dash, then in Markdown, that'll put like a horizontal bar. And let's see. I think I messed up something. What did I mess up? Read file sync, right? They should be right. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if this is because I have to do it here. Right? Huh. Read directory. I read the directory, and then I read the file, and then when I read it in, it should be there. But join, missing a parentheses. Oh, I'm missing a parentheses, guys. I'm missing a parentheses. Oh, bam.
That one gets me every single time.
And so it doesn't matter if you've been coding for like 20 years. Oh man, missing parentheses. Sometimes it's like semicolons. At least in JavaScript, you don't have to worry about semicolons as much. And so
I had
that's
this weird error where I would accidentally put I's instead of ones, and I have no clue why, but I would do that consistently.
Oh man. And then when there's like case sensitivity, that gets to be interesting too. And so, okay, so now that we actually have these notes, now we're gonna finally use Markdown it, and that will be able to parse it and then change it into a web page for us. And so this part's gonna be really exciting because all you have to do is call a render function. It looks like this. Let's say Shareboard equals MD. And then I think it's just called render. I think that's it. And then that's like the actual HTML code that it generates. And so if you say, if we print this out, then, oh, MD is not a function. Wait a minute. MD not render is not a function. Oh, that's because I need to actually do this. Check it out. So now it read the Markdown file, and then where it had the hashtag or the pound sign or the number sign, then it puts it into header 1. Are you guys familiar with HTML? This means this makes it really big text. And then the greater than sign, it puts it into block quotes. It puts it into a quotation with a P for paragraph. And so now the final thing that we got to do is to write it out. Where, you know how we made this index.html here, right? We're going to do this. We are going to save this out and say, okay, we need to write file sync this time with, we'll say index.html, and then we'll create this HTML file, and instead of hi student ms build student zone, we're going to put the Shareboard in here.
Can you tell us a little bit about your combo counter over there?
My combo counter? Oh yeah. So this is it's an extension on Atom and VS Code, Visual Studio Code, called Power Mode. And one time, one of my viewers just like shared this video about this guy that was like playing a piano is like a keyboard, and the keyboard itself had these like particle effects come out from the keys. And so I was like, oh man, that would be really cool if I could do that in code. And then someone was like, you know, there's an extension that can do that. And then we added it, and it's been there ever since. And basically, if you type a whole bunch of stuff, then it keeps a combo count. It just keeps it alive. Exciting.
And also, quick question. Can they install web on their own projects?
Yeah. Web, I'll show you in a second. Let me show you if this should work. Let me show you this real quick, and then I'll show you web because
awesome.
I think you guys will really like it. I actually made a video on YouTube on how to use it. But now, because we wrote this out as an index HTML, I hope you're ready for it. Drum roll, please. If I refresh, it should be. Oh, did I save it on the wrong one? Uh-oh. Wait, I ran it, right? Oh. I clicked on the command prompt and then it was stuck. Oh no. This is pretty much what happens quite often in my streams and everything all the time. Anyway, here we go. Check it out. It says, hello everyone. Does anyone here like Animal Crossing? Because if you guys do like Animal Crossing, I have a surprise for you guys. I have really good turnip prices today in my island. And so what I like to do is actually share the Dodo code with you guys, but you guys will have to check our repository because I'm going to create it as a pull request, and then you guys will have to check it out on the repo. And so, and while you're there, you should just click the star. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I haven't logged in. Oh,
what?
I have to do that. I think I'm just not logged in yet. Oopsies. But yeah, while you're there, just click the star, and then you'll have access to the students at Build. All right, so let me show you web real quick before we run out of time. All right, so if you go to github.com/instafluff, you can see a lot of the open source projects that I do. I'm going to be talking about open source projects in our next talk later tonight. And what's cool about that one is I love open source projects just in general because we get to share our ideas and time and efforts and have other people also contribute at the same time, which is the beauty of pull requests in Git and GitHub. And in here, like student to build, one of these is called web. And web basically has the instructions for how to install it and how to run it on a port. and then how to even use APIs. So like if you have JavaScript files or like web servers that you want to do, or like projects where you just need to boot up a web server really quick, then this is really literally all you have to do. It's like, I want a web server that can support a basic API, but sometimes like a lot of the tutorials out there are talking about like Express.js, and you have to do like routing and all this other stuff. It gets to be very complicated, right? So instead, just do web, and then create an API. You can call it like color, and favorite is let's say like yellow is my favorite color, and then just like that. Now we just created an API called color that returns a JSON object. And this doesn't even have to be a JSON object. It can be a string or a web page or anything. And so with like, what is this, 5 lines of code, you have a web server that can serve web pages directly from, like, if you name it index.html, and you have APIs that you can talk to. Pretty easy.
I love it.
Oh, man.
We also had some people asking about GitHub Pages, and I can show a quick demo of that unless you have one quickly available.
Oh yeah, sure. I can show you GitHub Pages on here. So a lot of the projects that I do are actually so let's see, email display. So a lot of them are actually Twitch chat integrated, and I try and build them for GitHub Pages. So what's cool about that is it basically turns your GitHub repository with like index.html or whatnot into an actual web page. And so all you have to do that and enable it is to go into settings. Oh, I don't have settings. Oh, dang, Sarah, do you want to show it?
I can totally show it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me pull up the right window here. Here we go.
Cool.
All right. So I'm going to show you basically on our Students at Build repo. And so you could do this if you wanted to clone this repository and then grab this social 2020 folder and make it like a root repository. Basically, it's going to be looking for either index.md or readme.md in the main folder. All you have to do is head over to settings and wait for it to load. And then as my bandwidth cries. You just scroll all the way down and click in this GitHub Pages source. And you can either do master branch or you can have a docs folder where everything is.
I need to see your screen.
Is it not sharing? Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. This is why we've got help. All right, so let me just scroll back up to the top. So we're at the code here. You should be able to see it now. We head over to settings over here in the right. And then you just need to scroll all the way down here to GitHub Pages. And right here, it says source. You can either choose master branch or you can have a docs folder. I'll choose master branch. And then you just click choose a theme, and we'll just be simple this time. We'll just choose this theme right here. And after just a couple of minutes, when you scroll down again, you'll see this right here. There's a link to our new GitHub Pages, and it's going to take a couple of seconds to propagate. But then anything that's in this README, so you'll see it says, welcome to the Student Zone. What's my Microsoft Build? What's the Student Zone? All of this stuff right here will eventually show up here with that theme. And
what's cool about that is you can also use custom domains. Like if you have your own, like mine goes defaults to instafluff.tv. Yep. And yeah, it's like if you have static websites, then you can host them for free on GitHub.
Yep, you can put in your custom domain right here. And you can switch things around, switch your theme around. And there's a lot more resources on this Learn More if you want to actually, customize your theme a little bit more. I usually just stick with the basics, and it's going to take a couple minutes, but soon this will be live and you can check it out. So GitHub Pages is really as simple as that. It just is a README file with simple Markdown, and then there's ways that you can go even better than that.
Log in real quick.
Awesome.
My GitHub.
Let's see if I can get this page to refresh. And yeah, everyone is curious about your setup here. Instafluff is using OBS and creating a virtual camera to to stream over into Teams live events.
Yeah, give me a second. I need to authorize and authenticate into this.
2FA, which you should have on GitHub for
Yeah.
sure. It is important.
All right, my password is PASSWORD.
And yes, all of the code is here on our GitHub repo at aka.ms/students@build inside of the social 2020 folder.
Cool. All right, so I promised you guys the Animal Crossing stuff, right?
Yes.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to edit my GitHub MD file here and write code is, and ooh, you'll have to check out the GitHub repository for this. And
check it out.
Oh, so. And if you guys want to sell some turnips, it should be live there for quite a while, because I think it'll be open for another like 5 hours or so, the store.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Great. There was another question. Would it support a public server too, or only localhost?
Oh, the web?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can post it. This is actually how I host a lot of my other like servers and projects and stuff too. And so yeah, you can put it on a public server. There's also a module called webs with an S at the end, and it's a variation of web that supports SSL certificates for you. So then you can do the HTTPS with it, just putting in the domain name, and it gets the security certificate for free from Let's Encrypt and sets it all up and renews it for you automatically and everything.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And I actually, the browser, it's working now. So let me send this up to you all. So it finally refreshed. So this is our GitHub pages. So you can see this is the exact same file, just looks a little bit prettier and looks a little bit more like a website rather than a GitHub repo. And any changes that we make over here will show up over here.
Awesome.
And then there's usually this view on GitHub, which will just take you to the repo itself.
Yeah.
So GitHub pages can be fairly straightforward, and then there's lots of documentation for making it even more complicated if you want.
Awesome. All right.
All right. We've got just
thanks
about.
so much for tuning in, guys.
Yeah,
we've got hopefully you guys will join us again very soon.
Yeah.
And I think I'll be also talking about how to create an AI bot that understands our like conversational language and be able to do that without writing any code soon. And so be sure to check out that on the session's calendar. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. Check out my Twitch stream if you haven't already. And
yes, make sure that you fill out our survey, please. So we're doing surveys for all of our Student Zone sessions. We want to make sure that anything that we're creating for you is something that you want. So not only on this screen, but also in the chat, you'll see aka.ms/Student Zone 2020 survey. Our session code is COM205, COM205. Please leave us your anonymous feedback so that we can make sure that we are creating sessions that are right for you. And don't forget, aka.ms/Students@build for all of the code that InstaFluff wrote today. The PR with the turnip prices and how to get those. I'm not an Animal Crossing player. I'm very jealous. I just don't have a Switch. And now I really want one. So make sure you check those out. And yeah, let us know if you have any additional questions. These sessions that you can find more sessions for InstaFluff on the no code AI one is on the main digital breakout. So you can search for those on the main session builder or in the student sessions at my build.
I actually ended up not doing a pull request. I actually just committed it.
Ooh, awesome.
So.
I love it. I love it. Even better. Now I want to find it. I don't even play though. This is horrible. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us. We hope that you have a great break. So over the next 3 hours or 2 hours or so, there are going to be some repeats of some of the of the keynotes and such. So make sure that you check out the mybuild.microsoft.com, the schedule there. Make sure that you take this opportunity to do some stretching, to drink some water, to eat some food. My bottle of water is starting to run low. My coffee is starting, oh, it's empty. Didn't even realize that. So make sure you take this time to take a break, stretch, get off the screen, close your eyes, step outside, get some air, stand up, move around, do something. Make sure you take this opportunity to do that because we still have, I don't know, something like 40 hours left of content for you. So take a break, enjoy, and don't forget to come back in a few hours for another InstaFluff session, as well as we've got a C# session with Scott Hanselman and Kendra Havens coming up in about 2 hours or so. So make sure you continue to check it out. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, remember to fill out the survey, please.
Yes, please, please don't forget to fill out the survey. We want to make sure the content that we have is good for you.
Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Enjoy Microsoft Build.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.